Welcome to Oxford Community Television. We are proud that our 4 communities continue to choose local programming, local news, sports, community issues, familiar faces, celebrations, and commitment to each other. Welcome to Oxford Community Television.
Welcome to another beautiful morning with Repose Yoga. We're going to lay out your mat, find a blanket or a block just in case, and we'll get started in child's pose this morning. Coming down to the floor, opening the legs a little bit wider. This just allows us to sink in a little more deeply. You'll notice I put a blanket while I'm upright just to take a little pressure off of the feet. I'm going to take a nice deep breath in. You're welcome to just go right into child's pose or breathe in with me, reaching overhead. Just breathing in the gratitude for the day, exhaling to bow forward and sink in. The rib cage just starts to settle in towards the knees of the earth. The head comes down, let the forehead kiss the mat. Bring your attention inward. Notice the breath as you breathe into the back, deep breaths in through the nose, out through the nose, slowing down the heart rate. Relax the elbows. A little meditation for the morning behind closed eyes. Visualize all the colors of the leaves changing as the weather changes. As the morning breaks into day, you see light shining through the branches down to the earth, illuminating the ground, highlighting all the colors of the leaves that have fallen. Visualize the breeze coming through as it knocks more leaves from the branches. And they come swaying down, gliding to the earth, making their own patterns of color, letting us know it's time to slow down. The cold is setting in and everything starts to go quiet. On your next inhale, start to lift the head and chin. Just looking out at the light by your hands. You're going to start to stretch up onto the knees, keeping the legs just where they are. Inhale to reach the right arm up towards the sky. Exhale as you bring that arm back down, reaching under the left arm or armpit here, coming to rest on the right shoulder. The head comes down to the mat. The bottom is up in the air. If you're more comfortable, you can sink the hips back down for this one as well, or you can keep it lifted. It's just going to be a stretch in a little different part of the body. And start to bring that left arm out if you're able to lift it off the ground and behind the back. If not, just leave it right where it was. And breathe. Just trying to open that left shoulder a little bit. Trying to reach as far back as you can if you were able to reach back at all. Maybe you settled in a little bit. You can start to reach with that right hand, trying to draw that right shoulder across the body. This just allows us to open up a little more. Left arm starts to reach up towards the sky if it was behind the back. Exhale to bring it down. Another breath of rest here. Start to put pressure on that left hand as you lift and release that right arm back up towards the sky. Inhale to reach. Exhale to bring it back down. So I'm going to show you both versions. I'm going to come back into that tabletop for the next side. Again, you can start from where we just were with the hips down. Inhale, left arm reaches up. And I just feel I can twist a little bit more deeply from that elevated state. Exhale to bring that hand under the right arm. Start to bring the shoulder down, head comes down. Find stability here. Lift that right arm up when you're ready, or if you're able, see if you can bring it behind the back. If you have a lot of reach like I do, not everyone will, you might even grab that thigh to really pull that arm open. And this is one of the benefits of being able to keep the hips elevated, but it can be awkward or uncomfortable, especially if you're new to the practice. So do what's right for you today. Breathe. Deep breaths in and out through the nose. In today's practice, we're going to bring some stretching and movement to the spine. So twisting like we are right now is just a little warm up and awakening, starting to twist that rib cage and spine. When you're ready, start to release that hand. Slowly bringing it up to the sky if it's not already. Exhale to bring it back down. Putting some pressure with that hand, start to lift, make some space. Left arm comes up to the sky, deep breath in. Exhale to bring it down. Coming into table, start to walk those knees under the hips. We're going to start to bring some fluidity or movement to the spine in cat and cow. So dropping the belly, pulling that tailbone up, chest lifts, inhale, head looks up at the sky. Exhale to start to tuck that tailbone in, round the back, press into the shoulders, head tucks in, exhale. Continue to your breath, deep inhale as you drop the belly, chest. This is cow. Exhale to round it in. This is cat. Continue with this motion and breath. On your next inhale, come to a nice flat back. I'm going to remove the blanket that I was using. If you have a blanket and we're using it as I was, you might want to even move it in front of you as you start to walk those hands forward. I'm going to drop the hips here, straightening the legs, tops of the feet are down. You're going to bend at the elbows. You want to keep those elbows tight towards the body. So the hips are slightly above the mat as the thighs support you. Shoulders draw down and back. The elbows are drawn towards the body. Deep inhale as you look up. We're going to hold this for a couple breaths. This is a king cobra. Try to relax the glutes. We're going to get different parts of the spine here. Exhale to lower down a little more until the belly button is touching the mat or just above. And come onto the forearms. And again, if this elbows are uncomfortable, maybe you have a thinner mat and a harder floor, you can always put the elbows onto that blanket. Find what's going to work for you. I prefer it without. And breathe. Again, check in that we're not dumping or collapsing into those shoulders. Nice long back, long neck. Draw the shoulders down and back. Make some little adjustments. Feel your way into it. Relax the glutes, relax the heels. Breathe. We're going to come back to this pose. On your next exhale, start to lower down a little bit more. Start to slide the hands under the shoulders. Elbows tight towards the body. Only the shoulders and head are lifted. Breathe. Breathe into the mat. You should feel the body rise and fall with the breath. If you really don't, then you're not taking a deep enough breath. Keep breathing a little deeper. One more deep breath in and out. And start to lower all the way down. Again, you might want that blanket as a little pillow here. Turning the head to one side or the other. Just breathe into the back. Start to lift your right foot. Bring that right foot as close to the body as you can. Then that right arm is going to reach back. You're going to open that shoulder up as you grab the foot and pull it in. Elbows up towards the sky. Relax the head down. Stretching into the thigh here. Now we're going to add a little bit of a challenge here. Start to brace that left hand. So you're going to spread the fingers wide, press that forearm into the mat as you start to lift the head, lift that shoulder, and you're going to lift that foot up off the ground if you can lift the knee. Careful not to roll. That's the trick of this. If it's not going to happen for you today, then accept that it's not going to happen today and that you tried. If you're able to hold it, hold the pose and not the breath. Keep breathing. And on your next exhale, slowly lower the knee down, relax the shoulder, roll back onto the mat, slowly start to release the foot. Right hand makes its way back up to the mat. Make any adjustments you need. Turn the head the other way. When you're ready, the left foot's going to rise towards the body. Left arm starts to reach back. You might need to lift that shoulder a little more to get there. Elbows up towards the sky as you pull in and breathe. I'm going to start to adjust that right hand. Spread the fingers. Maybe you need to bring the arm out a little wider for support. Start to press the forearm into the mat. Start to lift the head and neck. Lift that leg up off the mat. Breathe and hold. 3 deep breaths. You can do it. One more deep breath in. Slow exhale. Start to bring the knee back down. Start to relax the shoulder and the head. Slowly release. Bring that hand forward. Start to bring those hands under the shoulders again. Make any adjustments here. Maybe bring the forehead back to the mat. Allow some pressure on that third eye, which is the space between the eyebrows. On the inhale, head and chin lift. Exhale, bring it down. 2 more subtle movements. We're starting with that neck as we work back through the spine. A little bit higher each time. Start to draw those shoulders back. Hold it here. Elbows tight towards the body. Little baby cobra. Hold the pose. Keep breathing. Deep breaths. Notice where you feel this in the back. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, start to rise again, pressing a little bit higher until you can bring the forearms back down to the mat. Check in with the ears and shoulders that we're not dumping into it, nice and tall. Relax the hips. Notice where you feel it in the back from this posture. Should have changed slightly. We're moving gradually through the spine. Begin to turn the head to look over the right shoulder. Just hold it here as we breathe. Inhale back to center. Exhale to look over the left shoulder. 3 deep breaths here. Inhale to come back to center. Start to pivot from the elbows, bringing those hands a little bit wider out to the sides. Inhale, lifting up higher. Seal pose. What changes these postures is where we're at in the spine. If this is too intense, you can just walk those hands a little bit wider. It's going to bring you down a little bit lower. So just notice where you're feeling it. And every time you adjust, you might notice that your glutes or your thighs start to tense up again. The muscles tense up before they release. That's why we hold it for several breaths. Sometimes we have to tell the muscles, just relax. Breathe it in. Slowly let it out the nose. Start to lower down on your next exhale. Nice deep breath in. Elbows start to come out to the side as the belly starts to kiss the mat slowly. Forehead comes back down. Hands come back under the shoulders, spread wide fingers. Elbows tight against the rib cage. Curl the toes under. Make sure you have a nice grip with those toes. You're going to want your socks off for this one if they're not already. Start to press the knees into the mat, allowing the bottom to lift. You're kind of crawling those knees up. Yes, it's awkward. Yes, it's different. Inhale to lift the head. Squeeze elbows towards the body. Notice the muscles that are active here. Notice the feeling in the back. Again, it's different. 3, 2, 1. Start to press with the arms, lifting head and chest. From here, you're going to start to sink the hips back, but just until they're over the knees, and start to walk the hands forward as the head comes down to the mat. Allow the rib cage to fall in. Relax the tops of the feet. Melting heart pose. This posture is really great for the stretch in the shoulders. If you'd like to feel more of a stretch in the shoulders, spread those fingers nice and wide. Start to press all 10 fingers into the mat and lift up your wrists. This is going to lift the shoulders a little bit higher and get you more of a stretch here. If you feel like you're sliding in or out of this pose, it's very uncomfortable for you, you might be overextended and you might need to just come back a little bit. So play with those adjustments at home. I cannot be in your body today. I can only be in my own. You can only feel your own body. So please honor it, what it's telling you. Inhale to start to peek up. Walk those hands or elbows towards the body as you come onto the knees. Nice tall spine, big breath, open the chest, draw those shoulders back. Just breathe a few deep breaths here. Inhale, arms come overhead. Gazes up at the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Do this 2 more times to your own breath. You might extend that inhale and hold if this feels really good at the top of that inhale. When you're ready to exhale, hands come down. 1 more. From here, we're going to come into an even deeper back bend. So there's some variations. We're going to do a variation of the camel pose. So bring the hands down as you rise onto the knees. Now a full camel pose is to do a deep arch backwards, the head looking up towards the sky, both hands coming back to the heels and dropping the head back. If you've never done that posture, I don't want you to come right into that. So we're going to do a little bit of a sweeping camel. We're going to do the right side and then the left side. So it's easiest if you put a little bend in your hips here, bringing the hands to the knees. Sweep the right hand back, start to twist until you find that right heel. That left hand is going to dance overhead, reaching up. Getting a nice big stretch in that left side. Deep breath in, and as you exhale, start to bring the hips down, sweeping that left hand forward. Right hand is going to sweep over. We're going to dance to the other side. Left hand finds the left heel. Right arm's going to reach up as you press the hips forward. Deep breath in. Exhale, start to collapse it forward. So find a rhythm with your breath. Inhaling to reach back and stretch. Slowly exhaling to collapse forward and dance over to the other side. Elongate the breath or hold the breath at the top or bottom of it to take a little more time in that part of the stretch. This stretch really does feel lovely, and is another one that's really nice to do with music because it has a dancing type movement to it. And if you've ever been in dance or enjoyed watching dances, you will notice that a lot of the movements are very similar to things we do in yoga, only they're not taking their time in them. They're moving to the music. We started on the right, so we're going to end with a stretch on the left, reaching overhead. And exhale forward. Coming to sit back on the heels. Deep breath in and out, relax the shoulders. Start to inhale, rise those arms overhead. Exhale to bow forward. Hands come down, starting to walk back into table. Take a moment for another cat and cow here. Inhale, drop the belly, look up. Exhale to round in. One more. Inhale to come to table. Start to walk those hands forward again. And to come to lay on the belly. If another back bend feels good for you, you might start to drop the hips first and do one more stretch. If you need a little forward motion, you might bow forward just to stretch out the shoulders one more time. But we'll all meet back on the belly on the mat. Again, you might choose to have your blanket as a pillow. You might just use your hands, or you might allow your forehead to come directly into the mat. We'll close today's practice with half frog on the right and then switching to the left. Half frog is just bringing one knee out to the side. You want it to be about the hip, as high as the hip rather, and flexing into the foot. Just relax here, pressing the pelvis into the earth. Spend as long as you'd like here, but whatever we do to the right, we do to the left. So at some point, you'll bring that right leg back to center and switch, bringing that left knee out as high as the hip, flexing into the foot, actively pressing the pelvis into the mat. Maybe turning your head the other way. You might just choose to stay here for a while. This is a perfect way to come into a little nap if you have that time today. Continue to care for yourself and others. We'll see you next week. Namaste.